Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Thursday and we have to talk about Star Wars Acolyte. So let's jump right into it. The first question I'm going to answer is a question that I'm sure is on the minds of at least a few people out there. Is it really as bad as you're hearing? And the answer is absolutely not. The show is not the best Star Wars show ever, but it takes place 100 years before Episode 1, and sort of in that High Republic era time, and Jedi during the High Republic acted a little bit different. This is where it sort of picks up, because now all of a sudden they hear that one of the Jedis has been murdered by someone using Force powers. So is this person a Jedi? Is this person something else? Well, that's where we kind of get into the mystery of the whole thing. The show is a murder mystery at its core, and that it doesn't feel immensely like your traditional Star Wars show. In fact, it feels a little bit more like Andor than it does anything else. And that's not a bad thing. Andor is a very well-liked and very respected Star Wars show, even though it didn't focus on the Jedi. This one, however, focuses on the Jedi and this acolyte. Now, we meet a girl named Osha, and Osha is being convicted of the murder of this Jedi by her old master and also by two other Jedi who travel along with them. Now, we get to see this murder, so we know why she's being accused. But it kind of takes a turn, because is she the killer? Is something else going on here that we don't know? And then it becomes very obvious throughout the episodes that someone's pulling the strings from somewhere behind the scenes. And whoever this person is, do they have their own agenda, or do they have the same exact motive as the killer? Because that's kind of the thing. When I was watching it, I kind of pondered that. I wondered if the person pulling the strings has the same motive as the killer, if they sort of knew each other and maybe they helped her escape. But I don't think that's the case. I think that what we're seeing is someone who's pulling the strings like a puppet master, trying to make it so that this person's doing their bidding for whatever their purpose is. The Jedi in this series have never dealt with a situation like this. This is uncharted ground for them. So they're finding out for the first time just how the Sith work and just how this whole thing could play out. And the killer's clever too. They are actually making sure that they can kill these Jedis in unique ways. And they have 4 people on their list. And by the end of the second episode, 2 of them are dead. And they're closer to finding out who the person is, but they don't know who's pulling the strings behind the scenes. And that's where I think this series is really going to pick up. But this looks like a solid series so far. A lot of the actors are very good, and it does have this Andor-like feel. And I think that's a good thing, being that the budget is a little bit lower than your traditional Star Wars movie would be. I think it's a nice way to sort of step back from all of that. But they still gave us some really cool aliens that I really enjoyed looking at. You know, for me, it's all about the lightsabers, the aliens, and the space travel. If you have those types of things in your Star Wars movie, then I'm probably watching just for those things. That's just the facts. And this show has all of that. So let's talk about the characters in the show and how they are portrayed. Because if you don't have good characters, you're not going to have a show that people are going to enjoy. And I think that all the characters are relatively solid. So you have Amanda Steinberg, who plays Osha, and May. And Osha and May are twin sisters. Now, Osha is the one that's trained as a Jedi Knight. And May is a bit more complicated, because if you watch the show, you quickly realize exactly why this is. she is presumed to be dead, and yet she's very much a part of Osha's current situation. So then you have Lee John Jay as Sol. And Sol is a very respected Jedi Knight. He's the one that trained Osha after rescuing her all these years ago from this fire. And he's actually very awesome as a character. I enjoyed him a lot. Now, my favorite character is probably Charlie Bennett as Yord Fandor. Yord Fandor is a young Jedi Knight, and he's just come into being a Jedi Knight. So I feel like he's really taking everything and trying to be the Jedi Knight that he thinks he should be. He's very much following the rules for the entire time. So I definitely expect, as the series progresses, for him to sort of break away from that and become a bit more of a rule breaker a little bit while still maintaining a good guy status, because I think that with him, he's going to slowly find that he can't always play by the rules, that sometimes you have to break the rules. And it's going to be really interesting to see if they do this. And then Daphne King plays Jackie Lawn, and Jackie Lawn is Sol's current Padawan, and she is half human and half feeling, and she's sort of a bit, I don't know. You don't get a whole lot of her in the series, I don't feel like, at least so far. There's so much room for that character to grow that I think that we're going to get to see that happen. But the show plays into this murder mystery a lot, and it has a budget that's kind of on par with Andor. And I think that's a good way to do it. It doesn't have to have a high budget. If you have aliens, lightsabers, and space travel, I'm probably going to be enjoying that Star Wars show. And this one has all of those things. The aliens look pretty cool from what we've seen so far, but of course I always want more aliens, so I hope that they visit more planets and we get to visit more places on these planets where some of these aliens would be hanging out. Because even the background aliens in Star Wars are amazing to look at and speculate about and come up with stories about for writers and filmmakers alike. So what I think we're going to find out as the series progresses is who's pulling the strings, and do their motives match up with the killer's motives, because I think that they're pulling the strings for their own personal motives, having nothing to do with the person they're using, and that's kind of going to be the arc. My early prediction for the show is by the end of it, the killer is going to turn out to be a good guy, the reason being that the person that is pulling the strings is using them. That's what I think is the early on thing. And I'm here for this show so far. I have heard rumors that there's a thing that happens in episode 3 that's going to ruin Star Wars forever, but take that with a grain of salt. And nothing can ruin a fandom for you unless you personally allow it to ruin the fandom for you. Nothing will ever ruin a fandom for you unless you allow it to. If you don't like something that they do in a fandom and you want to kind of move on past it and continue watching, and you find other things you enjoy about that current incarnation, then you go ahead and do that. If it's something that you can't get past, then take a break from all of it for a while. Watch the ones that you loved, and then later on, someone somewhere will go back to the same source material that you love, and they will make something that you can watch and enjoy. Fandom is ever changing. Star Trek, Star Wars, Doctor Who, all of it. If you don't like one incarnation of something, it's going to change. Someone else is going to take the helm. And as soon as they do, they're going to give you something worthwhile, at least in your eyes, for you to watch. So I never really look at something and go, this is going to ruin the fandom for me. This is going to ruin my childhood. I actually enjoyed these first 2 episodes, and I look forward to seeing where they go from here. So I do want to pose this question. If you have seen this series, what did you think of it so far? Did you enjoy the first 2 episodes? Keep it spoiler-free as much as possible in the comments, but let me know who your favorite characters are, what your favorite moments in the show have been so far within these first 2 episodes, and would you like to see me cover this show more? As always, we definitely want to know what you guys think, so make sure you are leaving us a comment in the comment box below, letting us know what you think. Don't forget to share this video with all of your friends, because they're definitely going to want to be a part of the conversation as well. Make sure you hit that like button. It's free, it helps the channel, and we really do appreciate it. Miko says we need more subscribers, and you don't want to disappoint Miko, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell while you're down there so you don't miss a single video we do. And then friends, at the end of the day, I know it, you know it, and Miko knows it. Fandom is family.